So, one of the things that I really want to talk about, also related to Spain again, considering my narrative, considering like a lot of different things that I've like seen people doing or saying about Spain. Mostly a lot of people saying Spain is racist and this and that. And I've seen that narrative play out. Mind you, related to my narrative, right? Of all the things that I was accused of, technically you could see like it was based on a lot of stereotyping and prejudices and this and that. Now, does that mean that everybody in Spain is racist? No. I really don't like to I don't like the way I guess a lot of people are talking about people in Spain. Again, remember, I lived there for many years. I'm not going to say that you don't have people who they have certain attitudes or they have prejudice and all this. I think just from an anthropological aspect, you have to understand that different countries evolve differently. So, they are just coming into contact with other like groups and cultures, and they were under dictatorship until the 70s. It's not the same like England and France, where you'll see different people of color in all types of jobs and all this. All right, you won't see certain things like that in Spain as of yet. The new generation of children who are being born in Spain, it's like the first group of people who are now starting to like it, like I'm gonna give you an example, like Barcelona, like they're learning Catalan, and they're learning to and they're going, they're studying, and they are now entering certain positions where their parents could never enter into, because all this time the parents and the immigrants who had been arriving were mostly working menial jobs. And so this creates, again, under the stereotype narratives. Keep in mind that you have a lot of parasitics, and what the parasitics work to do is to do bad things as well, so that when you see it, you go, oh, look, it's true. They do this, they do that. Do you understand? So I noticed, like, in a lot of the comments, like, especially when, like, all of the immigrants are, like, coming over into Ceuta and Melilla, I know it's related to I know in Somalia it has to do something also with the energy and the FIFA game, because a lot of people kept putting comments like, oh, treat them nicely, don't be racist, love from Argentina. And I don't really understand what that's about. I don't know if that's just because Argentina lost the FIFA or what's going on in Somalia with that. But basically, there is this thing, like I told you, like it's as if like Spain is going to be punished, right? They're on a mission to punish Spain, and the goal is that they're very racist and all this. I mean, I normally, like, when I pray, like, again, like I said, for different countries, of course I've had my share, like I said, of situations, experiences where people have like been prejudiced or whatever, but I never per se dwelled on it in that sense. If you were to ask me, like, would I want my kids to grow up there, like, if all of this stuff didn't happen, we would have been in Spain, right? They would have grown up there. Obviously, growing up in France, would be different, because they would be able to see other people who are of color, who look like them, in better positions, and not feel like that they could only do certain types of jobs or fit into certain narratives or boxes. I'm not going to lie about that, right? But like, if everything didn't happen to me, I probably would have just stayed in Spain, and my kids would have grown up in Spain, and that's it. And then I would have just had to just keep reminding them when certain stereotypes came up or prejudice came up. Well, that has nothing to do with you, because again, as an American, they have another they can look at things from another point of view, right? Because you can show them, well, that's kind of the view that these folks have here because of this and that. But in America, you have people who do this, or you have people, or we travel a lot. We would come to France a lot, so they would see the difference, right? But at the same time, I really, like I said, I don't appreciate like this kind of thing, like where people are just like painting this narrative over the entire population. There are neo-Nazis, there are all sorts of people who are just waiting for these kind of situations to start trouble and to create division, because that's what the demons want. They want division, they want hatred, they want anger, they want people to get upset. And I'm very happy that I saw in Ceuta that the people were running out a lot of the Nazis, because they just want to create this narrative. And I'll tell you that, like, many Spanish people helped me in the years that I was living in Spain. Okay, many Spanish people helped me. They didn't have to specifically. So why should I paint, or why should we just start painting this brush over people and just calling everybody racist? Spanish people tend to have very good hearts in helping people in all of this. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, and you know, like I said, I rather someone who just kind of says what they think, even if it's not the most correct thing, than someone who's hypocrite and doesn't say what they think. Again, I look at Spain from an anthropological perspective. Cultures need to grow into certain aspects. So you have to understand the culture, you have to understand what they see, you have to understand the mentality. You kind of have to understand a lot of different things. And even saying all that, you will find some people who are just nasty, and you could just say, yes, they're plain racist. But there's so many people who aren't, that even if they might have this prejudice or that they still might be willing to help you, or just, it's not this kind of like hatred kind of thing that I feel like the media is trying to paint on them. And the only reason why I'm talking about this is because I feel like I should say something about it, because I don't like it. I don't like, even despite everything that's happened to me, even if certain things have happened to me because of other people's prejudices, again, many people have helped me and my children, my family, in a lot of situations that have happened in Spain. And they were Spanish, and they didn't have to, and they could have turned a blind eye, and they didn't, and they helped me. So I will always be thankful. I will always remember that. And, even like I said, that they might say things sometimes are not entirely politically correct. Again, all of these things come with time, okay? These things come with time. These things come with beginning to see people in different positions and all that. That's all. But as far as people having like a good heart, I will speak, and I'll say that yes, maybe they say things they're not sometimes, but at the end of the day, I feel that they are very warm-hearted people, and I just don't like, because I'm someone, the same way people painted narratives about me and they weren't entirely true. I just don't like when people just start making narratives about people, especially just blatantly like that, with like this brush and painting. I don't like that. So I don't know. There's good and bad in everybody. And and again, there are demons running around here in vessels trying to promote certain stereotypes on both sides. So, you just got to be really careful about that. But yeah, I keep seeing a lot. Like, I think it's important to mention certain things in the culture. Like, I do know sometimes they don't like you to point out when something is wrong or stuff like that if you're not from the country, and I understand that. And sometimes it takes outsiders making critiques about it, but like still, but like I don't have that kind of sensation or malice or feeling of like, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know how to explain that to you. I don't like it. And like I said, why, if you have like one or two or even three people who are rude to you or said something racist to you, but you've had like 50 treat you nice or give you jobs or help you out here or help you out there or done nice things, like, why would you dwell on those three and then paint everybody? Like, I don't know how to explain it to you. Maybe it's my perception, but again, I just don't like it. I've been watching videos of people who are Moroccan and who are Spanish, and they are helping the migrants. So I don't know what to say. That's all I just want to say. I feel like out of a lot of people in Europe, they are very warm towards immigrants, and even if not all of them are, but a lot of them are. So I don't like to stereotype.